So the reason that you can tell that this is the same day is because my hair is still doing that really random thing that it was doing before. So it's kind of like nighttime here. I just finished, I don't know, you can't really see the sky. How are you supposed to know it's nighttime? And I'm sitting outside on my porch with my wild hair. I still have my purse and my jacket on. Um, we just got back from watching the last episode of Game of Thrones, so I thought I would. I'm talking quietly because I'm sitting in the backyard, and I just feel like I don't know how people vlog when they're out on the streets and just like holding up the phone and talking, and it makes me nervous because people are going to be hearing me talking to myself, so I'm talking a little quiet. But yeah, I just got home from watching the very, very last episode of Game of Thrones, and I want to stress that for the last like essentially 8 years, I've been like super, super nerdy into it. I've read all the books, I've read all the theories, I've participated in many a Reddit debate and discussion. And honestly, after watching the very, very last episode, having everything wrapped up of like literally my all time favorite show, I feel really okay. I think that that was like as good of an ending as I could have hoped for. And I don't say that in a depressed way, like, oh, I couldn't hope for much better than that. Like, honestly, I thought that that was exactly the ending that it should have been. Sorry, the screen kind of, hopefully you're not getting vertigo. The computer's on my lap right now. So, and I'm not the kind of person who sits still. I tend to gesture. So, yeah, I wonder if I can, like, hold it maybe that makes it a little bit better. Anyway, yeah, I thought that it was awesome. I smiled through most of it. It was My husband said that it was like too syrupy sweet for him. And I was like, after 8 seasons of like massacres and war and murder and whatever, you're mad because things worked out for some characters. Like I don't really understand. If it wasn't a happy ending in any capacity, I would have been really disappointed. Like if, would have died for no reason, it would disappointing. But that scene with the small council and like Tyrion and Bronn and it wasn't like I don't know super hunky dory happy ending there because Bronn is like not a moral character in the slightest. He just like I don't know outwitted his way to be the Highgarden person. Why am I not being able to think of what they're called? Like Highgarden master. That's obviously not what he is. But like he managed to I don't know work his way to Highgarden, which is like one of the most impressive houses in the entire show, and like in all of Westeros. And he just like kind of weaseled his way in there. So that's not like I don't know a really syrupy happy ending would be like Marjorie, but Marjorie was blown up by Cersei because the characters in the show are evil and vindictive. So, and talking about not syrupy sweet endings for some characters here. I'm gonna like get in a little closer here because let's talk about Jon. He had a perfect. Is this like really bugging you? It's really bugging me. I'm trying not to look at it. So Jon had the claim to the throne. He had the name. He had the Targaryen name. He was like Rhaegar's son. He was like the best candidate to like sit on the throne. But in the end, his name meant nothing, and that was one of the best parts of the whole wrap up of the series of the last episode is that names meant nothing. Bran, like the Broken, we kept laughing about that when they called him Bran the Broken. It's like you gotta come up with like a nicer, more flattering title than Bran the Broken. Like, come on. But their whole decision to not nominate rulers based on their bloodlines, but based on like a common vote, was like a great decision and a step towards democracy. I actually had to laugh because one of my predictions for the show was that like the Iron Throne would be destroyed, which it was. Literally, I wasn't expecting that. But aside from just being literally destroyed, it was also made like I just thought like okay it's going to be democracy, they're going to destroy the throne and then like the people are going to vote and power to the people and all the seven kingdoms are going to rule themselves, but that makes me the fact that that didn't happen. Once I thought about it, I'm like, yeah, that's really unrealistic. You can't just jump from monarchy to democracy. Like there has to be like a transitional period. But a step in that direction is not nominating rulers based on their bloodlines, based on their, their deeds, how much people like them, etc. So that's a step towards democracy, and one can imagine like a Westeros several hundred years in the future that is democratic. So yeah, I thought that was good. I liked that Sam was the one who was like, "Hey, what about this crazy idea that like everyone could vote for their ruler?" And everyone's like, "Oh, silly Sam." Even Sansa was like, pfft. And Sansa's our like resident brain. So yeah, small council was great. I love that Daenerys was murdered by Jon so early in the episode. I was kind of expecting more pomp, like it to be this big build up to the very end, and then they finally dethrone her or something like that. But it was like halfway through the episode and he assassinated her. And that whole scene was just so good. Like it was just like Jon said something like with tears in his eyes about like, how do you know it's going to be a better world? And she's just like, she's just deluded herself. She's like completely delusional at that point, and it's just like, oh man, like, and then the Drogon thing where he, sorry, this is so shaky. I just thought, yeah, that was pretty badass. That was pretty good. So my immediate thoughts after the episode, I don't want to like go on too long because I am like sitting outside in the dark talking to myself, hopefully not with my neighbors hearing me. But I just wanted to say, I know a lot of people are going to be like complaining about this episode because people have been complaining about this entire season. And I feel like one of 10 people who have been championing words this season all along. There have been like a couple, like it's been rushed in some ways. Like obviously when you condense a 10 episode season to 6 episodes, you're gonna have to like rush a few things, but I get it. Like it's an expensive show to film and the actors are really expensive and you just can't sprawl things out the way you did in season 1. So I don't know, like I've been really game this whole season. Like this whole season for me has been great, just like a great wrap up, lots of twists. I was not expecting Bran to be nominated the ruler of the 6 kingdoms. I wasn't and even that has like a sinister element, like everything Bran went through to become the 3-eyed raven, all of that, this whole time he's known that he's going to be the next king of Westeros, and like all of the terrible things that have happened he just had to kind of let happen. And there's like 15% sinisterness in that, and I think that's kind of interesting too. But yeah, I will leave it there. Doing these live things is kind of different. I've never really done them before, so I appreciate your if you've decided to watch this, I appreciate it. I will have to marinate on this episode. Like give me a week and I'll come back and give you like, I don't know, maybe more thought out thoughts, not just like the spontaneous impressions. But yeah, it was good. It was everything I wanted it to be. And even if I'm only like one of 10 people who likes that ending, then that's okay. Me and like you 9 other people, like, hi, how's it going? Let's be friends. Okay. Without further ado, I will talk to you guys in about a week and we'll do something like this again. Thank you to my friend Dimitri, who's kind of like, hey, you should go on YouTube and do the thing. So here I am on YouTube doing the thing. Apparently all you have to do is suggest I do something and I'll do it. So if you got any requests of other things, let me know. Yeah, so we'll have like a real Game of Thrones finale discussion. You can like tell it's already darker and it's only been 10 minutes, but I'm like a shadow now. Yeah. And then once we're done talking about Game of Thrones, we can go back to like your regular scheduled, actually slightly planned videos that aren't shaky because of my constant gesturing. Okay, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys later.